recently or whatever. So one more time. So what was the experience again? Repeat it.
اوکی. هنگام دوین میگه که چند بار اتفاق افتاده، جدیدن بوده، یه بار بوده، چند بار بوده؟
گفتم که ما حدودا اگه بخوام این خواب رو بگم حدودا برمیگرد به 20 سال پیش.
نه بابا دوین رو میگم که دوین صدا میکنن.
خیلی، من اصلا میگم من از وقتی که با راهنما ارتباط گرفتم تو بعد فیزیک یا بعدای قبل، اصلا به یاد ندارم که اسم منو صدا کرده باشن. همش منو به اسم دوین صدا میکنن.
Oh, she said it many times and always they call her Duane instead of her real name. In
Okay,
every
so
experience she has.
every experience they have, they call her Duane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So, I'll just use you as an example, Sajad. So, what would you see from that?
Me? I told you before.
You did? Go ahead.
I feel that these experiences that sometimes she has, they are not real. But if they are, maybe they are pointing her to her real awareness.
Okay, so here's the idea. All right, so what experience is real? You see? And which experience that you're having in creation isn't real? You're living on the earth, it's supposed to be Mayan phenomena, but it's real, which isn't real. So creation is what it is, and the experiences are what they are. That's real. And there is a difference between what we experience in creation to prompt us to recognize the true reality. There becomes the difference. So trying to sort out what isn't real or what isn't, again, it's choices here, isn't it? Yeah, we see what has benefit, we see what is deception, etc. So do we say that that's not real? Well, there's a lot of people that agree that it is real. Look at most of the people in the world. They agree to the deception. And we know, yes, it's not real, but yet it still exists there, doesn't it? It's still a reality in creation. See? So, and then we say, oh, our real side experiences are real. Well, yes, they are to us as we agree to them and learn to recognize what the experience means. It is that recognition that is the true reality, but we all have our own reality, our own truth, you might say, in creation that only exists in creation. And you see, in the past, it has been very confusing. You know, it's all been brought together, the spiritual past, the religions, whatever the experiences, the self-realization, the God realization. It's all been kind of mashed together, you know, like a big stew where you just throw all the vegetables and meat in there and you make this big stew. Well, you know, that works for a while, but now it doesn't work anymore because people bring deception into trying to figure out what truly is real, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. It took us to a certain point, it doesn't work anymore. Now we really have to define it. And so as I came along and created the new presentation, I did that. Paul talked about the higher worlds beyond creation and all that, but they were more literal. Now it's more defined, etc. And they're not this or that or places to go, but a recognition has to be there, and only in creation are there places to go. So again, why would Rebazar or the boys say that? Okay, so it's real short. They can say something like, go ask Duane or see what Duane is doing, or do you see what Duane is presenting, etc. But they just say Duane, don't they? They just, they just capsulate it, Duane. Okay? So it's not for me to figure that out for her. And it's not a matter of why are they saying this. It is up to her, okay, to start deciding for herself to figure this out or not. Go ahead.
توی این عدد گفتش که حالا آخر صحبتشون رو من میگم، گفتش که راهنماها میتونن بگن برو از دوین بپرس ببین دوین چی کار میکنه، نمیدونم مسیر دوین رو برو، اما راهنماها فقط میگن دوین و این که بفهمی دلیلش چیه خودت باید بفهمی و باید برای این منظور باید انتخاب کنی که آیا انتخاب میکنی که بفهمی دلیل این مسئله چی هست یا نه. بعد قبلش از من پرسیدن که نظر تو چیه سجاد؟ بعد من گفتم که احساس میکنم این تجربیات حقیقی نیستش. بعد گفت چه چیزی حقیقی هست؟ آیا این زندگی که ما میکنیم اتفاقی که میفتیم آیا وجود نداره؟ بعد گفتم چرا؟ گفت پس حقیقی هست. بعد به توضیح دادن که منظور از حقیقی در واقع اینطور که من برداشت کردم میشه تجربیات یا اون اعمالی که در جهت رسیدن به اون آگاهی حقیقی، نه در جهت خلقت، نه در جهت زمین و مادیات. و توضیح دادن در مورد زمانهای قبل که حالا مسترها، استادها و گروها و مکاتب خودشناسی و عرفان و اینها بودن، اما راه به جایی نبردن، چرا که توی تعالیمشون چیز وارد کردن، توطئه و دروغ و اینها رو وارد کرده بودن، لغت دیسپشن آوردن، همون حیله و اینجور چیزا، و گفتن که خودت باید بفهمی و باید انتخاب کنی این رو که بفهمی که چرا اینجوری هستش. حالا سوال دومت رو بپرس.
ممنونم بابت ترجمه‌تون. سوال دومم این بود که یه رویایی دیدم باز همون چند سال پیش که یک هفته از مدام تصویرش رو یادم میاد و امروز کلا یادم اومد که اون رویا در اون رویا من توی سیاره بودم بسیار پر انرژی مثل زمین که از بالا داشتم به سیاره پایین نگاه میکردم که سیاه و قهوه‌ای بود. تصویرش هم کشیدم عمل رو امروز. اونجا در اون سیاره‌ای که من بودم در حال مطالعه در مورد زمین بودم و یادداشتایی هم که نوشتم پشت همون تصاویرهایی که کشیدم داشتم اونجا روی همونا که همون دوین که میگین، من همیشه تصویری برداشتی که داشتم از پیام راهنما این بود که من یه رسالتی دارم مثل نویسندگی، من برداشتم همچین چیزیه و اونجا تو اون سیاره دارم در مورد همین موضوع می نویسم که سوالم همین بود. نمیدونم همه توضیح دادم خودم.
اینکه یک خوابی دیدین که سالها پیش دیدین ولی توی این هفته چندین بار به یادتون اومده. اون خواب این بودی که می‌بینین روی سیاره پر انرژی هست مشابه زمین، بعد از بالا به اون سیاره که نگاه می‌کنین قهوه‌ای و سیاه رنگ سیاره، و بعد روی اون سیاره وظیفه شما این بود که در مورد زمین اطلاعات بنویسید. درسته؟ اطلاعات جمع کنید. کتاب بنویسید.
کتابی در مورد زمین و همچنین بقیه‌اش هم میتونم بگم.
خب بذارین از همینجاش بگم، بعد هر وقت تمام شد باز شما ادامهش بگید. She said that she had an experience many years ago, but within this week she has remembered so many times. And in this experience, she was on a different planet, but very similar to Earth. That planet was full of energy, and while she was looking to that planet from up, she saw it brown and black. And she on that planet had a mission, and it was to write a book about Earth. خب ادامهش به کتاب در مورد زمین ممسی.
بعد و یک کتاب دیگه هم هست، اون با توجه به نوشته هایی که توی اون رویا من داشتم می نوشتم و امروز یادم اومد نوشتم به شما دادم. مثل اینکه کتابیه در مورد اینکه ما هست مطلق نور، همون بودن و محض رو به عنوان یک انسان مثل یک دریچه در درون خودمون داریم، که گفتم طی مراقبه‌ای که انجام دادم 2 سال پیش در مورد اکنون محض خیلی من دوست داشتم مطالعه کنم. تو این مراقبه به همچین دریچه‌ای رفتم و اونجا بود که نویو داشتم میخونم. خودم رو دیدم در حالت یک هست بودم، یعنی یک هست بودم، خودم رو دیدم. در مورد این موضوع داشتم مطالعه میکردم یا مینوشتم. همین دقیقم یادم نیست، چون مرحله به مرحله احساس میکنم گاهی وقتا یادم میاد.
آها، توی اون تجربه شما در مورد زمین نمی‌نوشتی، در مورد هست مطلق و اینکه اون هست و اون بودن محض در درون ماست.
Yes. Okay.
And she said actually she wasn't writing about the earth, but she was writing about the is, and that's the is in being known, and being known is within ourselves. خب هست اون بودن محض درون ما هست و بعد چی؟ هنگامه
گوش میدم. درون ما هست و اون جایی که در همه انسان هایی که وارد نویو میشن در واقع اون نویو رو درون خودشون دارن. اگه اون تصویرها رو بفرستیم فکر کنم توی گروه، اگه اجازه بدید من بفرستم، خیلی متوجه میشن.
آره بفرست. And everyone that enters the new you, they already have the new you within themselves. And she said, I have some drawing that I want to send it here, and she went there to send it here. So do you start doing?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, you can start, and she wants to send the picture here.
الان بفرستم؟
آره بفرست دیگه.
باشه.
سجاد
جانم.
سجاد جان، سیما جون هم یه مطلب نوشتن که میگن تجربیاتی رو که هنگام جون داشتن خیلی شبیه سیماست. سیما هم دست به قلم هستن و یه کتاب نوشتن. حالا ببین تو اون کتابشون هم از نویو صحبت کردن.
خب الان سیما جان چیزی میخوام بدونیم بگی؟ خودش که نوشته انگلیسی. سیما
فکر کنم داره تایپ میکنه سجاد.
آره. Okay, then she has sent the pictures.
Yes, okay.
These
like
are
kids.
so beautiful. Yeah, they're cute.
Like when we were kids, we drew, yes. It's fine. It's fine.
So, do you have anything to say?
No, everything's fine. So, okay, so when a person really starts to recognize the is, really sincerely recognizes the is and what the is doing, okay, what it is doing, then they should, it's almost a should that they should decide to step up and do something with wherever they're at right now. So it's more than just, okay, etc. It is to do something. Just like I created all this and then brought Ava in, created all the groups for you kids, etc. And we keep expanding upon this. And we, even though you start to recognize the is or whatever, there's no end. And we keep doing it until it's a completeness, which is who can say when that will be? You cannot. And so the idea is there's a lot to do. And whatever we do, you might say, is never enough because there's always more to do. And this is the real activity with all life now, to where we surpass our personal self altogether. We learn to see that realistically, that to surpass it altogether and be that pure being of light for everyone to shine, not just run off into the higher worlds because we don't care, but we are here to care. So the experiences and whatever she has, etc., and I go through all kinds of things myself every night, up and down the scale, etc., meeting people, going through this and that, etc. I still do, but my focus and my intent is to present this and be here as long as whatever it takes. And my intent totally is with the is. It's a love affair. It is with the is to do this because I see the struggle of individuals. And every time someone steps up, they are precious.
دوین عزیز گفتن که وقتی که ما هست رو درک میکنیم، والا اون بودن رو درک میکنیم، اون آگاهی رو درک میکنیم، خیلی مهمه ببینیم که هست چه کاری انجام میده و یعنی ما چه کاری انجام میدیم. ما حالا با این آگاهی حقیقی که دریافت کردیم، با این تجربیاتی که دریافت کردیم، ما چه کاری انجام میدیم؟ آیا مثل قبل میمونیم یا یک کار حقیقی انجام میدیم؟ این مهمه. تجربیات هستم، این اتفاقات میفته، من خودم در سوی حقیقی هر شب بالا پایین اینور اونور چیزهای مختلف، آدمهای مختلف میبینم، اما تمرکز اصلی من بر روی معرفی این آگاهی حقیقی و موج نیو هستش. و هر کسی که گام برمی‌داره و هر کسی که وارد این مسیر میشه و در جهت حقیقت یک کاری انجام میده، این بسیار بسیار با ارزشه. خب رضا، من می‌خواستم بخونم تجربه رو. شما 2 دقیقه جلسه دستون بگیرن تجربه بخونم، همش
باشه. یه چیز دیگه هم فکر کنم من درک صحبت‌های دوین بود که فهمیدن و درک کردن هست مطلق بی پایانه. فکر کنم اینم گفتن که ما هر چقدر بخوایم و بریم جلو میتونیم بیشتر و بهتر از قبل درک کنیم و بفهمیم. مسئله اصلی که یکم نیاز هست ما بهش دقت کنیم، همه ما همون بحث گسترش نویو، انتشار نویو، تمرکز رو هست مطلق و بود سوی حقیقی هست. مخصوصا تو کشوری که ما داریم یکم همه چی بسته تر، خیلی بسته و فشارات بیشتر نسبت به قسمت های دیگه وجود داره. این اتفاق برای همه میفته. مثلا خود من چند تا از بچه های کانال که بهم پیام داده بودن به شدت مثلا تحت فشارات مثلا رپتالین ها قرار میگیرن. بچه‌ای که مثلا شروع کردن مثلا صحبت کردن با دیگران و گسترش نویو فشار رو بیشتر ایجاد میکنن و گاهی وقتهایی هم موضوعاتی برای ما پیش میارن که ممکنه واسه ما تو درجات مثلا اول باشه تو زندگی شخصیمون و نیاز هست اونها رو حواسمون باشه و هندل کنیم و نسبت به هندل کنیم و نذاریم مثلا این دو خط موازی زندگیمون هیچ اوورلپی، هیچ برخوردی و تداخلی نداشته باشن و بتونیم اون مسیر حقیقی که داریم رو طی کنیم. کسی از دوستان سوالی صحبتی داره میتونه بیان کنه؟ ترجمه میکنه.
من یه چیزی میخواستم بگم.
بفرمایید.
اجازه است بگم؟ من یکی از تجربیاتم اینه که با راهنما بودم، اینکه شماها حتی خود راهنمایان بارها به ما گفتن که با وجود اینکه تو وارد نویو شدی و میخوای به خود حقیقی برسی، سختی هایی داره، یه چالش هایی داره، یا همون رپتالین هایی که میگه این چالش ها رو برای ما به وجود میارن. تجربه شخصی من این بود که ما این سختی ها رو خب یه نوع به نظر من ترسه، همش
نه، این
احساس میکنم یه نوع
سختی ها
ترسه.
ترس نیست.
چرا
کلا
زمانی که از این با توجه به تجربه من، زمانی که من از این ترس رد میشم میبینم که واقعا اصلا چیزی به نام سختی وجود نداشت، همش ترس بود، یه سد بود، یه دیوار، یه مانع که همون ترسه. بعد میبینی که واقعا همه چیز ساده است، خیلی ساده است، یعنی وارد ترست شو. اینو من بارها تجربه کردم و به نتیجه خیلی عالی رسیدم و راهنماها به من نشون دادن که این فقط یک ترس، ببین بیرونش هسته هیچی نیست، همه چیز ساده است، همه چیز نورانیه. این تجربه من بود.
نگاه کنین، کلا ماهیت این دنیا بر اساس سختی، فشارها و عذاب، یه سری عذاب‌ها ایجاد شده و این حالتیه که بتونن از هر حالت ممکنی، از هر نوع موجود زنده بیان انرژی بگیرن و ماجراجویی کردن تو این جهان ها برای بار اول شاید سخت باشه. سختیه علتش بیشتر اون حس وابستگی ها و اون محدودیت های ذهنی که برامون ایجاد کردن هست و وقتی شروع کنیم و هر چقدر بریم جلو این سختی ها ممکنه هم برامون بیشتر بشه، چون میاد دست روی بندهای عمیق‌تری میزنن و برای اینکه هر منبع انرژی رو از دست ندن فشارات بیشتری رو اون طرف ایجاد میکنن. ترس ها برمیگرده به درون خودمون، به اون حسای وابستگی که داریم. وقتی اونها رو کنار بذاریم، آره به راحتی میتونیم بریم جلو و اون چیزی که میخوایم و از جهانهای حقیقی و ماجراجوهایی که لازمه که آگاهتر و حقیقی تر بشیم رو به دست بیاریم.
ببخشید من میتونم، سلام دوستان، میتونم این سوال بکنم؟
بفرمایید.
ببخشید این که شما میگین ما باید ترسامون رو کنار بذاریم، ببینید ترسا انقدر نهادینه است، با همین جوری ترسا رو کنار گذاشتن خب یه همین نیو گفتن یعنی تمام کافیه، من میتونم با ترسم کنار بیام، میتونم به قول معروف اون شفافیت پشتشو ببینم، همین کافیه. من اینو خیلی سوال کردم ولی خیلی چیز خیلی نمیدونم، خیلی انگار دریافت خوبی نداشتم ازش. اگه لطف کنیم به من بگین ممنونتون میشم، چون فقط میگیم باید با ترسا رو برو بشیم، باید فلان بشیم، یعنی چی؟ فقط با گفتن نیو یا اینکه نه من باید رو خودم کار
نه،
کنم؟
ماجراجویی کردن هم میشه. دوینم بارها گفته ماجراجویی کنید.
کجا؟ توی
مثل
بعد فیزیکی
نگاه کنیم،
یا
مثلا هم بعد فیزیکی، هم بعد روحی و بعد سوی حقیقی. به این صورته. یه مثال خیلی ساده میزنم. فکر کنین یک فردی هستیم که از بیرون رفتن از خونه به شدت ما میترسیم و بیرون از خونه میشه اون سوی حقیقی برای ما. و تا زمانی که ما این ترسمون میشه چی؟ ترسمون اینه که با کلیدو بندازیم و بریم از خونه بیرون تا بتونیم اون سوی حقیقی رو تجربه کنیم. تا زمانی که ما این کار رو نکنیم و کلیدو نندازیم و نریم بیرون، اون ترس هنوز درون ما هست. نیاز داره بعضی وقتا این کار رو انجام بدیم. اون دری که قفل هست و کلیدشو بذاریم و بازش کنیم و وارد اون ماجراجویی بشیم، وارد اون ترس بشیم. گاهی وقتا ترس ها همین، مثلا یارو میگه من میخوام حقیقی باشم، من میخوام آگاه باشم، اما وارد ماجراجویی ها نمیشه، وارد اون بیرون رفتن از خونش نمیشه، وارد اون خونه ذهنی که ذهنش براش خواسته و درست کرده که آسایش داشته باشه، اون خونه رو ترک نمیکنه که ماجراجویی کنه.
خیلی ممنون، مرسی. حالا تو همین قضیه هم وقتی من فرض کنین میخوام ماجراجویی کنم، حالا بود فیزیکی به قول شما یا همون ور حقیقی، خب وقتی من میخوام به هر حال تو این وقتی میخوام وارد شم با این ترسم مقابله کنم، مطمئناً اون به قول شما اون ساختار فکری به هم میخوره. خب یه سریا ممکنه اینجا توی تعهدات و مسئولیتایی داشته باشی، اونا چی میشه؟ اونا چه مسئله‌ای براش پیش میاد؟ آیا من آسیب به اونا نمیزنم؟ آیا آسیب زدن مهم نیست، من باید فقط به فکر خودم باشم؟ این خیلی برای من جای
این
سواله.
خیلی مثلا واسه همه پیش میاد، مخصوصا مثلا این که مثلا میگن اگه من خود حقیقیمو پیدا کنم، اگه اون نقاب هایی که تو زندگی های مختلف رو چهره داشتم بردارم، های دیگران باز اون هیت افرادی که میتونم کنارم هستن که میشه اون خانواده، اون افراد مختلفی که تا الان داشتیم، آیا میمونن؟ آیا اون آسیب بهشون میخوره یا نه؟
احسن، دقیقاً احسن.
این
من یک
هیچ
پیشنهاد دارم
اتفاقی جونم.
تو حرفتون. مریم خانم، سوالتون رو به صورت کوتاه و مرتب یه بار دیگه بپرسیم، من از دویی بپرسم بریم نظر دویی چیه. خانم ایزدی.
جانم، بله. سوالم اینه که وقتی من میخوام ریسک کنم، میخوام خطر کنم، توی این وادی ممکنه من یه سری تعهدات و مسئولیت‌هایی دارم، مطمئناً به اونا آسیب میخوره، اطرافیانی که تو تعهد بهشون داری، اون چه اتفاقی میفته؟ من چجور باید با اون برخورد کنم؟ آیا توجه نکنم و راه خودم رو برم یا نه مسئولم مقابل اونا؟ این خیلی برام سواله. مرسی از شما.
One of our friends, Mariam Izadi, has a question. She says, when we want to do something real and enter the real way, most of the times we will hurt the responsibilities that we have or the people who we have responsibilities for them. For example, our child. I added this myself. And so, what should we do? Should we care about those people? Should we deny them, or what should we do?
Okay, so the idea is actually to care about everything. Go ahead and tell her that, and I'll continue.
توی این عزیز میگن که مسئله اینه که ما قراره که به همه چیز اهمیت بدیم. یعنی الان من توضیحش رو اینجوری در نظر میگم که منظور اینه که وقتی شما حقیقی میشید در واقع تازه زمانی هست که شما دارید به همه به طور درست اهمیت میدید.
Okay. So John,
متوجه شدم. متوجه.
all right. Yes, the idea is that we care about everything. And so what we do is we take the time for ourselves because now we know what is real. We have the knowledge, we have the experience. And so we bring that into our life for others to share that, because that the real caring is to be creative and to share how to become more aware for everybody. So it's not a matter of giving up anything. It's a matter of sharing what is beneficial, more so than just old routines that we think that we have to cater to constantly. So this is where, again, just like what I was saying to you, if you know you're drinking poisoned water, do you want to keep doing it? So if she really does care about her family and her friends and everyone, then she will learn to be creative to bring in what is a real benefit for everybody, and that is becoming aware of the whole of life. Go ahead.
توی این گفتن که ما اینجا داریم یاد میگیریم که به همه چیز اهمیت بدیم و توضیح دادن که اهمیت دادن واقعی آگاه شدن و بیدار شدن و معرفی کردن این آگاهی به بقیه هستش. همونطور که این مثال رو به من زدن، گفتن اگر بدونید که آبی که میخورید سمی هست و با خبر باشید چی کار میکنید؟ در واقع توضیح دوی اینه که اصلا زمانی شما دارید حقیقتا اهمیت میدید به دیگران که بحث آگاهی حقیقی بحث اون آگاه ترشن عمل میکنید، نه اون روتین ها و اون مراقبت هایی که به صورت روتین و ناخودآگاه دارید انجام میدید. اهمیت واقعی از طریق آگاه شدن، حالا انتقال این آگاهی به همدیگه هستش، پخش کردن این آگاهی، انجام دادن یک کار حقیقی.
خیلی ممنون، عالی بود، مرسی، متشکرم.
یک سالم در مورد ترس پرسیده بودین، درسته؟ اون چی بود؟
من در مورد این که خب الان فقط میگیم که باید با ترسامون روبرو بشیم، بوده فیزیکی یا حقیقی. این که فقط من میخوام باشون روبرو بشم، فقط گفتن نیو کافیه یا این که خودش من تو موقعیت قرار میگیرم یا نه خودم هم باید یه کارایی بکنم، یا نه با گفتن نیو من وارد اون ترسا میشم و میتونم ازشون بگذرم، این شجاعت رو پیدا میکنم.
Her other question is that when we want to enter the reality, we face some fears. What should we do with the fears? Just thinking the new you, will it remove the fears, or the new you will move us in the fears, will position us in the fears, and then we have to face them? What should we do with the fears?
There will always be fear as long as you're here. Well, that kind of rhymes, doesn't it? Simply, you just have to deal with it and decide how to creatively get to the point where it's okay to fear. You see? So again, getting rid of fear in cause and effect creation, that's a toughie, because there's always fear, there's always the influence and whatever. So it's not a matter of trying to get rid of it because it exists in the consciousness. It's a matter of simply facing it and dealing with it. When a soldier goes out in the battlefield, no matter how brave they are, they're still afraid, but yet they keep going, don't they? And when they, you know, just like me, when I've ridden big waves and whatever, and the big wave surfers, oh, they're scared. But you know what? They do it anyhow. And it's the people that let fear stop them. It stops them. That's it. Because, oh, I'm too afraid. Well, I understand. I'm not going to be jumping out of an airplane and parachuting. That's really scary because that's the physical body. But on the real side, it's different. But yes, there will always be fear. But, you know, the challenge is to face that fear. And when I presented this to the world, yeah, there's fear there. There's the unknown. What do I do, etc. But you know what? I just kept going. But every time there's a new person stepping up, Sajad, like you and the others before you, etc., you know what? I'm fine with the fear. I just walk right through it. But there will always be fear. And, you know, each person decides, will they walk through it or will they be afraid? When I first went out into the public and did my first introductory lecture in 1970, I was so afraid. And for years after that, I was nervous. But I just kept it up and kept it up and kept it up, just kept walking through it. I didn't let it stop me. So again, we each decide, don't we? Go ahead.
دوین عزیز گفتش که اول اینکه اگه ترسی هست اوکی وجود داره، اوکی ما باش مشکلی نداریم. در واقع شاید منظورش اینه که ما باش مقاومت نمی‌کنیم، در عوضش ردش نمی‌کنیم، اوکی وجود داره. و اینکه توی این جهان، توی این خلقت ترس بسیار زیاده، به خاطر نفوذی که وجود داره، به خاطر سیستم ها اونا ترس بسیار زیاده. ما مدام در حال ترسیدن و یا القا شدن ترس‌های مختلف هستیم بهمون. و حالا چی کار میکنیم؟ آیا اجازه میدیم که ترس مانع ما بشه یا ما پیش میریم و از ترس ها عبور میکنیم؟ و خودشون رو مثال زدن که گفتن که واسه من هم بارها این ترسیدن ها رخ میده، اما اجازه نمیدن که اونها من رو متوقف کنه و پیش میرن. و بعد گفت یا مثال زدن زمانی که در سال 1970 اولین سخنرانیشون رو میخواستن انجام بدن، خب چیز بودن، استرس داشتن و خب نذاشتن اون استرس جلوشون رو بگیره و حتی دفعه های بعد تا این استرس تا مدت ها باشون همراه بود، اما نذاشتن که این استرس جلوشون رو بگیره و کارشون رو انجام دادن. و این ما هستیم که انتخاب میکنیم. من یه توضیح کوچیک در مورد این مسئله بدم. تو این خیلی زیاد در مورد این که یو دیساید تو کتاباش میگه، تو حرفاش میگه، یعنی یکی از پرتکرارترین کلماتی است که دوین استفاده میکنه، یو دیساید. من خودم طبق تجربه که حالا توی یک مدت کوتاه، شاید بگم 1-2 ماه 3 ماهی است که روی این مسئله دارم کار میکنم، اینه که مثلا متوجه شدم که ما در هر حالتی که هستیم حق انتخاب داریم. یعنی موقع شما از ترس بسیار در ترس خیلی شدیدی هستی ولی بازم حق انتخاب داری. حالا اون کار که ازش میترسی انجام بدی یا انجام ندی. میخوای یه کاری انجام بدی، حال نداری انجام بدی. میخوای دوش بگیری، حال نداری دوش بگیری. حق انتخاب داری. و زمانی که تو میدونی که حال نداری دوش بگیری ولی دوش گرفتن رو انتخاب میکنی و مصمم میشی برای دوش گرفتن، اون حاله کمرنگ میشه. گاه اوقات کامل از بین میره، گاه اوقات کمرنگ میشه. زمانی که شما مثلا میگم، حالا مثلا چیزایی که خودم تست کردم، مثلا ظرفات کثیفه، حال نداره ظرفا رو بشویی، ولی انتخاب میکنی که ظرفا رو بشویی و مصمم هستی، اون حسه کمرنگ میشه. یا شما میخوای یه کار انجام بدی، میترسی. میخوای کلاس ورزشی شرکت کنی، مثلا استاد سخت میگه، میترسی. خب ترس وجود داره، تو انتخاب داری. باز کدوم انتخاب میکنی؟ ترس انتخاب میکنی، خب موجب میشه مانع رفتن تو کلاس بشه، یا اینکه رفتن به کلاس انتخاب میکنی، اون ترس کمرنگ میشه. ولی شما انتخاب کردن که با مصمم بودن همراهه. یا اینکه باز بهترین انتخاب باز خود هسته. ما حالا در طول روز، حالا این روشی که من انجام دادم شاید درست نباشه، ولی مثلا افکار مختلف، ایده های مختلف، تفکرات مختلف، چارچوب های مختلف، فکر مختلف، حس های مختلف که میاد و متوجه میشم این حس ها حقیقی نیست، حس رو انتخاب میکنم. نه اگه یک فکری میاد، مثلا در یک شخص رو قضاوت میکنم، میفهمم اوکی این من این فکر رو دارم، حالا یا این فکریه که قضاوت اون شخص رو انتخاب کنم یا حس رو انتخاب میکنم. یک ترسی میاد، حس رو انتخاب میکنم. یک حس بد، یک حسی مثلا از خیانت یک شخصی من خیانت کرده، هی اون فکر خیانتی میاد، من میگم اوکی تو هستی، باد نمی جنگم، نمیگم حضور نداری، نادیدت نمیگیرم، اما من حس رو انتخاب میکنم. میخوای یه کار حقیقی انجام بدی، میخوای کتاب دین رو بخونی، خسته ای، بی‌حوصله، اصلا بی‌حوصله میشی، کسل میشی، خب حالا انتخاب داری چیکار میکنی؟ من حس رو انتخاب میکنم، اون حسه کم رنگ میشه. اما در این بین متوجه شدم که یک تایم هایی رو هم ما باید به رسیدگی کردن به اون خود شخصمون بذاریم. آیا یک خود شخصی ما به سه چیزایی نیاز داره؟ مثلا من فهمیدم که خود شخصی من مثلا به طبیعت رفتن نیاز داره. اگه من به طبیعت چند روز طبیعت نرم، حالا پارکی جایی بیرون جایی، من خیلی کلافه میشم. متوجه شدم مثلا من به تفریح کردن، بازی کردن، موسیقی گوش دادن مثلا نیاز دارم. نه اینکه این نیازها درست هستش و قرار متبادل نگه داریم، نه. خیلی اوقات ترک کردن عادتها و شرط شدگی های ما همزمان سخته. با کم 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 باید اینها رو ترک کنیم. یکی از این شرط شدگی های ما گارد گرفتنه. آقا من دارم حرفی رو میزنم، شما گارد میگیری. اصلا مهم نیست حرف من درست یا غلط، اون گارد رو بذارید کنار. انتخاب کنید که گارد نداشته باشه، هست رو انتخاب کنید تا اون گارده بره کنار. و این مسئله خیلی مهمه. خیلی وقتا ما توی تعصبات هستیم یا توی آنتی تعصبات، اینا باز جفتش یکیه. تعصب و ضد تعصب جفتش یکیه. حتی شما بر ضد چیزی تعصب دارید، مثلا بر مسائل دینی بر ضدش تعصب دارید، یعنی شما اون مسئله در درونتون دارید. اوکی من هست رو انتخاب کنم. و شما از این مسئله انتخاب استفاده کنید، بازی کنید باش تا یاد بگیرید. توی این سری جملات نوشتن We all have been taught the old ideas that we must give something up to be real. No, simply learn to see what is possible as a real benefit. تو پیام اول نوشتن که به ما گفته شده، آموخته شدیم توسط اون ایده های قدیمی و تعالیم قدیمی که برای حقیقی شدن باید دست از یک سری چیزا برداریم، یه سری چیزا رو رها کنیم. نه، به سادگی یاد بگیرید که ببینید چه چیزی ممکن هست به عنوان یک منفعت حقیقی، یعنی با اون امکاناتی که دارین کار حقیقی چه میتونه باشه. And then decide to transform yourself into something wonderful. و بعد تصمیم بگیرید یا انتخاب کنید، همون قضیه decide، تا تبدیل کنید خودتون رو به چیزی فوق‌العاده. Those who have the real courage to step up and support and do something real with what is real now, they will be supported by Ribazar and the real guides and the all is. اونهایی که شجاعت حقیقی رو دارن تا بلند بشن، حرکتی بکنن و ساپورت کنن و کار حقیقی انجام بدن با آنچه که حقیقی هست. یعنی یک کار انجام بدید بر اساس حقیقت اکنون، حقیقتی که الان وجود داره. اون اشخاص توسط ربازار و راهنمایان حقیقی و هست انتخاب میشه، ساپورت خواهند شد. یک توضیح من در مورد ریل کالج بدم، یادم یه جای دوین فکر کنم اینو گفت. شجاعت به معنی ترس نداشتن نیست، یعنی شجاعت متضاد بی‌ترسی نیست. در واقع شجاع کسیه که ترس داره ولی کاری رو انجام میده. این توضیح من فکر کنم یه جای دوین گفته بود. Be real and have fun doing so. حقیقی باشید و لذت ببرید از انجام، از حقیقی بودن. Okay, we reached the time. Reza is gonna kill me because I didn't read one of his experiences. Please do it, and the guide save me, and we have to do the new you.
Yes, you shall be saved, Sajad. You shall be saved. Okay. Yes. Go ahead and you start off and call everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. It's all for you. Go ahead.
New you. Sima. Sima. فرشته. فرشته. هلن. فرشته بگو.
No, no, you.
هنگامه. هنگامه میکروفونت خاموشه. Wonderful. Kevin.
New you.
مریم ایزدی.
No, you.
Mother Mary. Mother Mary.
New
چرا میوت کردی وسط نیو خوندن؟ ستایش.
No, you.
تیم.
New you.
Val.
New you.
Ava.
No, you.
And Duane.
New you. Well, everybody, you kids are wonderful. Thank you so much. See you next time.
And Duane, what do you mean by farseers before you go?
What is your language? It's Farsi, right?
Yes. Oh. Okay, I got it.
Okay, that's the new language. It's a lot more fun, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
You kids are the Farsiers. Yeah, it's Farsi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Everybody's wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll get through it. Just again, let everybody know, get involved, get them together to do something, and don't worry about the this or that. Just do something fun and figure it out. Be creative and bring something wonderful in that makes sense instead of just doing the same old routines. Yeah, you don't have to just flip-flop your life. Do a gradual change, and pretty soon you're wonderful. It just takes practice. Just like an Olympic star. You're not the star overnight. Hey, it's a lot of practice, right? And it may take years, and it will take years. But when you're going to start, it's always the best time to start right now. Have fun. See you soon.
دوین عزیز گفتش که کم کم اتفاق افته، کم کم رشد میکنید، کم کم آگاه تر میشید و قهرمان المپیک یه شبه قهرمان المپیک نشده. کم 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 شما وقتی که گام برمی‌دارید، وقتی که در مسیر حرکت میکنید، کم 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 اون آگاهیتون رشد میکنه و یاد میگیرید که چی کار بکنید اینجور چیزا. من مفهومشون همین بود. خب دوستان عزیز، جلسه‌مون به پایان رسید. خیلی ممنون از حضورتون و خداحافظ. البته ببخشید، گفتن که نترسید و نگران نباشید از اینکه چیز حقیقی کار حقیقی بکنید. از این درگیر این ترس ها نشید و اون کار حقیقی رو انجام بدید. دیگه خداحافظ.
Hello, Mariam, you listening? Mariam still there? Mariam, maybe you're still there. How are you? This is Peter. I don't know if you can hear me, but I will share that the recording you made of our conversation at the end last week, I have made and sent to YouTube and made a video. So yeah, I think it's very good explaining the referencing and connection to NU U and how we referred to it during our conversation with the all isness, solar is, and I guess that particular arrangement connection. So I don't know if you heard that, but I'm going to see if you're going to talk for a second, and then I'll go home and see you maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'll send a connection to see what more we can do with the connection from the Solaris and Peter with the NU U together with the Persian and your own home lands area.
Hello, dear Peter.
Hi,
Are you
Mariam.
talking?
Yes.
Are you talking with my sister Judy?
Oh, that's your sister. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Where is she?
She's wonderful. She's a teacher of yoga, and you can know about her by her talking professional in English language, you know. And I send your book to my lovely sister, Judy, too.
Yes. Where does Judy? She's your younger sister,
Yes.
and she lives in what country?
Yeah. Yeah, she's in our country, Iran. All of us
See,
are living in Iran, and she's now Tehran, the center of
yeah.
yeah,
Is that where
our
you are as well?
capital of Iran. Yeah. What did you say?
Are you also there
Yes, I'm there.
in the north? Right in the north country of Iran
Oh,
instead of the south.
um, I'm now I'm living in Shiraz, dear Peter, and my sister Judy writes something in Persian. Let me see. Uh, Sadiqa, Judy, can you talk? Judy, I have missed a part.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, she's back. Did she? Judy has an English name. So she speaks
yes,
English,
yeah,
yes or not?
she's speak English
صدای
very
من میاد؟
professional. Yes.
Okay.
We have. صدیقه به انگلیسی صحبت کن با پیتر. پیتر در مورد استرولوژر و اصلا یه کتاب خیلی خوب رو برای ما فرستادن که برات میفرستمش
Oh,
توی تلگرام.
hi
اوکی؟
Peter. This
Hi,
is Judy.
Judy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to talk.
I've chosen the name Judy Abbott because my friends, when I was in high school, called me Judy Abbott because of maybe my characteristic or something like that.
Yeah.
You are an astrologer.
Well, the short history, I was an astrologer since 1975,
Perfect.
and in about 2000 or so, let's say, I started advancing my study. So I went beyond the old astrology, eventually discovering, I'll say, what I call solistry, which is, let's say,
Oh,
the astrology of the sun or the solar position in relation to itself and also but to the universe, the galactic center, and that's somewhat what the book that Judy, excuse me, what Mariam was sharing. And if you'd like to read it, that would be, very good. As very few people have read it, and very few people know anything of what I am trying to describe in it. So it's very,
thank you.
very
I really
advanced. Yeah.
like to read it. And do I have the permission to share it with one of my astrologer friends I have in
Yeah.
Iran? Okay.
You can.
I think she'll
Uh,
enjoy it
the
a lot.
the copy I sent was a PDF, I think, and that is okay. The PDF. If it's a
Okay.
regular file, I'd rather I'll resend the PDF to Mariam,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
and I'm not sure. Mariam, is it? If it's a PDF?
مریم اون فایلی که فرستادن برات PDF بود؟
Yes.
Yes, it was in PDF format.
Okay, cool. That's good. The astrologers, even the most advanced ones, tune me out, let's say, and it would be like sending the NU U to the U AEGIS. Uh, not saying that they will all not read or listen, but um, even I could say that it's not really, let's say, something that Duane would read and or care about. Although there are relations that I'm using because I can see this connection with this larger, with the solar field. And, you know, that's like my personal or my own, you know, ability to describe and relate it. And also without making it like I'm trying to create a new astrology or a new UU avenue, or any kind of a difference, you know, to any other religion or mystical path, and or any of that, because it really isn't supposed to be like some kind of you know, worshipped or advisory system that people have been used to. As an example, Mariam is a Sagittarius like I am, and the Sagittarius is a key sign because the sun lines up with the galactic center every year, once a year at December 18th. And so our birth dates are very close to that, and it's part of the knowledge group, and also it's the sign. I have a whole another zodiac. I could call it that, but it's not a zodiac like the old one. But there is a set of positions that are related to the constellations that were discovered and used by the Persian and the Babylonian and the Sumerian and on down. You know, these positions of the heavenly, the stars are related. So she and I share the sign I call the sage, which is a wisdom keeper, or you know, the person of awareness, of knowledge, or relations to the universe. You know, those are words, right? But, you know, it's kind of trying to talk about it. And that's what the book is like, I would say. It's kind of descriptive like that. So,
okay, it's perfect.
yeah.
And you do not believe in astrology in the way that it was before anymore?
Yes.
Because I do believe it, because I'm a Gemini, and exactly the duration, for example, has been told that you are in, for example, on the effect of Mars. I felt so powerful. I fight for my goals. I know that why I feel anger and I could pass it. I can feel the energy according to the signs and durations.
Yes.
And even the time that I was, yeah.
No, please go ahead.
And even I do not memorize the duration for each year. And sometimes, for example, I feel that I prefer to be alone, for example. I prefer to do not, although I am extrovert, but sometimes I like to be alone. I do not want to have any connection with some of my even close friends. And when I check my prediction for the duration of the years, for example, I am in the effect of, for example, what they call it, goddess of darkness, Hades, the Pluto. Yeah. And I really feel that energy.
Yes. Yeah, I think that everyone does, and at the same time, to give it references is a challenge because the references can take over, and in fact, you're just picking up the rays from the sun and the universe that exist and that are part of our being, that we are part of because we are beings of light. And so,
Yeah.
as an example, you just talked about Mars and Gemini, or rather Mars, but Mars has just entered Gemini in the last 2 days. And so now we have the world is going to experience the Mars in Gemini, which is a lot of movement and activity and educational communications and changes in communications, and people are going to be much more receptive to listening, actively becoming part of this new learning, we could call it. But they only know it in their areas that they're studying, like religions or schools and etc. So they'll reference it in earth terms, you know, in their human term. Still, this is relates to you very much because you will be initiating, let's say, because of being a Gemini, and Mars is a planet of activism and initiation and beginnings. And that is the other side to it. But in this case, going to the Gemini, now I might relate this because the position of the Gemini at the beginning of the Gemini is in the sign of the river, which is Eridanus, the constellation, Eridanus. And it will, and has been in this sign for the last 3 weeks, something like that. Now change because it goes into the sign of Gemini that the world recognizes, but the universal position is about the river of stars and the river of light, and being aware of this more in a universal, that we have a universal position in the river of life. And so this is the very important subject and activity that's I'm seeing. I started initiating this with in my own way because Mariam, I shared with her, and others. I also did this year, this last week, in fact, and month, last 2 months, and up to especially in the last week to 2 weeks, I said that the new age has begun. The same thing that they had said was going to happen or since the 1960s with the dawn of the age of Aquarius. And I was saying, okay, it's really initiating now. It's birthing now. Maybe it was conceived 60 years ago, or the idea was being presented as a conception with the age of Aquarius. But I'm saying now that it is initiating and birth. And so, of course, at a birth, the baby is very, very unknowing, or it's full of its awareness in a way. The baby is, but it doesn't, you know, it's like it can't tell you, but it's in its real awareness, except for, you know, you can see it in the light in the child and all of that, you know, thing. But of course, it's very, very young and doesn't have the tools and the body awareness and its senses to be able to share. I remember everything about myself, and now I'm here now. Because a lot of children, they do remember who they were, and they do remember that they had past lives and that and things like that, you know. And that comes, they try and often share that in some ways with their parents. You say, oh, I recognize you, or I recognize the TV, or whatever. And these are all part of that. So the next 2 months or so, we will have this Mars position going through. and it's going to go into the what I call the signs of the hunter, Orion the hunter. And Orion's very important because this is
I
how.
really love this sign. I
What?
really love Orion, the hunter.
You are actually in a different group, though, I think. I don't know. What day are you? In May or June?
In May.
May.
I was born in 29th of May.
9th, what day?
29th of May.
29. Well, you are an Orion. That is the hunter gatherer. Also, I think relates to that, but and you know the old long history, but of mankind is from the hunter gatherer times. But Orions are late May, and that's the next sign that Mars is going to go into. So you are absolutely on the center point of this, and also you will. The thing that's going on is that the Orions, through the millenniums, that's something Duane has talked about, where the Queen of Orion and Enki and Enlil, her sons, came and established themselves as god beings and so-called, and were worshipped. And also, of course, what they did was part of this initiating of mankind into modern genetic and civilization. They created this whole, we'll call it a matrix of being human in the knowledge sense, but also being controlled by these Orion space god so-called beings. They're ruling over us like the queen, and the Queen of England as an example is a very a clear example of this ruling, controlling, monopolizing of man, usually through whatever education and religions that could be established. This goes back to Egypt and Babylonian and Sumerian and the astrology. All of
Shall I ask
that.
a question? I had no idea what is the story that you are talking. It's the first time I'm hearing this story, but at the time I was a teenager, I was really in love with hunter sign, and most of the time when in the winter I could see the sign in the sky, I was talking to it, and I didn't know that one of the sign of the Gemini, the Aptaljosa, is one of these hunter signs, one of the stars in the hunter sign. I didn't know that because I didn't know my sign. Where is the Gemini?
Right.
In this,
you could call this your real sign.
Oh, the Orion is my real sign.
Yeah, and the solar universal zodiac, they have 28 signs, that are 13 days each. And that's almost 2 weeks. And so we're right at the very end of the river. Actually, we are, excuse me, the Mars is at that point on the river that it's going to change and go into the hunter. And so, but in the sun's position, this would be related to the hunter and Orion's in late May. May 22nd into June 3rd or 4th, or I forgot exactly, because it's not so important to have these numbers exact and the dates exact. Because what we're doing is referencing And you need to realize that probably a great deal of your entire historical lifetimes has been in a relation to this. And for good or bad, it's not a judgment, but we are trying to break the hold of this. I think I'm going to call it the mental and the ego that humans can identify with. And that is all the things that we identify with, including our race and sex and family and so forth and so on and on and on. So it's huge,
But
yeah.
yeah, Peter.
So it's going
yeah.
to be changed in the new age. And
say
the
it again?
control would not be and it's going to be changed in the new age. The control would not be according to the Orion gods that came to the earth and built the
This has a question mark, because in a way there's the choice, and humanity is coming up to this choice where they're going to recognize the universal position and the solar position that each person is, a being of light and a universal relation, or they're going to stay with the old astrology, let's say, which would be pointing out that you're still, going to observe just the sun and the sun signs and that old zodiac that is really just the earth with the sun. And so that is really how they established it, even though you have no mention of the Orions, but they do, all the old signs are part of that system that was established, I'm going to say, back in Sumeria, in the Babylonian time. And so that is a very big shift.
I have a question, another question. I saw a documentary in it, in which it mentioned that when the belt of the hunter put in a very special position in the sky, according to the top of that 3 pyramids in the Egypt, so many stories and the mysteries of the pyramids will be solved.
Exactly related with that. They established themselves as God beings, and they were mining the world for gold, and not only precious elements, but also humankind is being mined and controlled and developed for and fed off of emotionally, in particular. This is what Duane has been talking about, the tap lining and the control manipulation.
Now I can figure out why I was trying to worship Orion and why it was so dear to me.
Yeah.
I can even recall the time that I had an exam and I was talking to it to help me to have my exam in a perfect way.
Yes. Let me relate this, that the third sign in the Gemini is the charioteer, the messenger. And that's the one that follows the Orion, the hunter. And so the charioteer is like the hunter has gone out exploring and discovering all the knowledge and all the universal places and the different realms have become available to it. But the charioteer or the messenger is the one that has now recognized and is bringing back what they have found out and sharing, messaging to everyone. So with that being the case, we are recognizing that, even though is only a part of the whole thing, of this whole cycle that has gone on for centuries, and that we are recognizing in different ways, and all different studies and religions and so forth have their own perspectives and avenues of understanding. But the whole thing is a whole that doesn't have a specific that needs to be told, or saying you need to study this particular thing or that particular thing to be aware. You just have to be aware and go with your real awareness as a whole. And this is huge, you know, what we're doing, let's say, and how the new UU relates. So in the book, I talk about that kind of perspective. So it's really, he's so huge, you know.
Amazing.
It goes right
Yeah.
over the head of the old astrologers.
Yeah.
You know,
I have a
you
funny
have to
question.
learn it. What?
I missed your last talking.
Yes. Which part?
You said something, and I was listening, but it was somehow disconnected.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
You
don't
said
know
that
which
it's
part you're
huge.
saying. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Well, it is, because we're changing our perspective from this
Solar
from
system to
the
universe
solar
system.
system to the universal system. You could call it that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you also, what we're talking about is this, you have a physical body and you have your other bodies, emotional body and a mental body.
Yeah.
But more importantly, as a whole, you have your solar body, which we used to just call it the light body. And then
and it's the body that is connected to everyone.
Yes, we could say that.
The
And then
wholeness
you
that
have a
we have.
universal body as well.
Ah, universal body. Okay, that the universal body is the wholeness that we have. Huh?
Yeah, that's a good way. You know, is a good way of saying it. You know, and I have an exercise that is that I can connect to my solar body, in the solar body, connect to the universal body, and also be aware that I am aware of my who I am and all the rest of it at the same, you know, the physical relations, and so that exercise I do a lot, and you know, so one of the main things I've got recently is something that has to do with one more, which would be like saying connecting to the universal body, that I have had references to the name of Satnam, or what I call NUAM, NUAM, and I think that the Persian heritage is somewhat aware of Satnam. And this is a being that's on the 5th level, that is, you know, the wholeness that is at the 5th level, that's would be of the beings of light and the solar body. And like that, and so that's where I am at the moment. My wholeness, putting it together like that, and I think it's really incredible.
What is the practice?
Dear Peter.
Yes, Maureen.
Yes, I want to say something. If you let me permission, I ask my sister in my native language. صدیقه جون، بعد اینا رو میتونی به فارسی برامون بگی؟
بر همین الان میخوای بهت بگم؟
آره بگو.
الان چیزی که میگه پیتر I'm translating what you said briefly in Persian. میگه که استرولوژی قدیمی اینجوری بود که میومد تاثیر سولار سیستم رو روی آدم ها بررسی میکرد و فقط 12 تا نشانه زودیاکی که حول زمین بودن و چیز در نظر میگیره، در حالی که بیشتر از این نشان زودیاک داریم و به جای اینکه سولار سیستم رو ببینیم و اون مثلا 9 تا سیاره سولار سیستم، باید بیایم چیز رو ببینیم، کل یونیورس رو ببینیم و تمام اون صورت‌های فلکی که how many signs that we have in the whole 20, 21 or 31?
There's actually two different ones, and one has 13 signs, and one has which I call the solar universal. That relates to the stars, and the other one is 28 signs that last about 13 days from one new year in December to the next. And the 28 signs are most of the constellations, the major constellations in the night sky.
Mm-hmm. So the solar universal system has 28 signs. Each of them has 30 days.
It's 28 times 13 and 13 times 28. That gives you every day of the year except for the New Year one day a year. The Indians used to do a zodiac. They have the lunar system, the lunar zodiac, which is 13 months that we have during the year. We have 13 lunar months, and it's a relation to that through the American Indian tribes, and I think many of the native tribes have something that relates to the lunar calendar.
میگه که خیلی از چیزای قدیمی مثل سومریا و بابلیا و یا حتی ایرانیای خیلی قدیمی از این سیستم استفاده میکنن که 28 تا علامت زودیاک بود که برای هر 28 تاشم ماهای 30 روزه در نظر میگرفتن. مثلا توی هند تقویم تقویم لونار داشتن، بر اساس مثلا قمری داشتن، ولی با 28 تا علامت، با 28 علامت چیزی که وجود داشت، علامتی که چی بهشون صورت فلکی، نه اینکه فقط 12 تا صورت فلکی. But now we have just 12. The old astrology has just 12 zodiac sign, and some of them has 30 days, a month in 30 days, and some are 29. Yeah.
Well, no.
Some 30, some 31, and some 29.
Well, the thing is that the days are actually just degrees, 30 degrees. That the sun stays in a sign. So, yes, there is another relation of 30 days or 30 degrees that is the position by the months. And this is another one, you know, and actually you see some of the people in the NU UU have been echists. And we studied something called the Ekvidya, which I am now changing to what we call the art of seeing. And in this, each of the months has a certain sign, like the May people are the days of full moon. And the June people are the days of sound. And you are kind of that. May 29th is in between, as a connection between both. And so it's not really important that what exactly we are in terms of the signs, except for we are relating them, because sometimes you can use those references of the old or the other positions, you know, in relation. But generally speaking, all of them in this, let's say the Gemini part, all has this same kind of, we're referencing communications and music and sound and information and being a messenger and being a charioteer or a traveler, and a soul traveler, which is another part of the Gemini, is about traveling and
I wish
exploring.
To be a soul traveler.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how the things kind of interconnect, but what you're doing is learning that you have these different bodies, and you have your mental and emotional and physical and your spiritual, so-called, which is really the mental body, that people seem to think, oh, it's some kind of spiritual thing, but it really is mostly they're just mentally recognizing and so forth like that. And they say, oh, it's a spiritual thing coming through, and I'm hearing the inner God talking to me, and all of that blah blah blah, because they're trying to mysticize and make it like they're in some kind of holy path that other people, nobody else is part of, and they're special, and that kind of thing is certainly a part of, you see, that's what the ego will do, is make its identifications like that. So this is, we're talking about the moving beyond our own personal references and positions, that could be attachment and ego identification. So, yeah, that's
I have a question.
part of it.
بگو مرجع.
Uh, I heard the Satnam and new
آره.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Satnam is the shape of. I heard another one.
Here's kind of a humming. Yes.
What is the voice? What is the voice behind?
سعیده داره جارو برقی میکشه. به خاطر
Okay,
همین من گفتم نمیتونم صدا در بیارم اون موقع. به خاطر همین
okay,
سر صداهای
okay. New arm. New arm. It means that new is behind. Is the new you?
Yes, in a relation to the being Satnam, or the Nam, which is the one of the terms is the nectar of the gods, and the being of the light of we'll call, let's say, the light of the sun, or the light of the light. And it's he is a being on the fifth plane that, let's say, is at the very top of creation, at the beyond the creation worlds, and he's part of the flow that comes from the entire universe, or the flow that comes from the in other words, it would be like saying the flows that come through him or it, the Sat Nam, then become those things that will create the lower universe, the realms of the mind and emotions and the physical body. You see?
I remember. Yeah. I remember the ancient mantra from Indian, which is start by Satnam, and I read something about Satnam. It's the shape, human shape of Sugmad, in the level, in the real side, in that special level, in the real side, and no, and in the new book, we faced with um, the new meaning of this, because most of the real from all is, or maybe sugma, that all life is, that is very important, uh, is nameless from the all is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For example, the nine part of a group with a blue dress, which is really unknown for many people, but They are really important, and they have a circle and a conference from the always to do something real for the world. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
And
all of that. Wonderful. I see and know.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That that is really you know, that's like we're really at the point there. At the, you know, it's like where everything is all of this isness, and you know, it's not going to become the isness, but this is really at the point there. And I, you know, I am speechless now.
yeah. I just remember that when I say new it means that new but the Calum God is completely in this situation omitted because we want to uh, spend and um, spend this level be upper than the creation, cause and effect creation. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yes. Okay.
exactly. I I think exactly. And
I repeated that mantra very much before I faced with New You sound.
it's something.
When I find that EU wasn't work for me, I continue to start the Satnam mantra very much and crying very much, but and then Paul teacher guide me to start new you and be happy with your heart.
Yes, I relate also the word anami, which is about the was described, I think, as the ocean of love and mercy, or the I call the Oceanus, which is the great ocean of across the universe, and in every, you know, the great ocean of life and love and existence there, you know, and the word anami. So NUAM, I've been using that, yes, and new you, NUAM, and new is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think that what we're doing is spectacular there, you know, it's really, really huge. And so, but it's not about like learning to chant and do the bowing to the five directions and uh, you know, all of whatever as a like, you know, just having, you know, doing the exercise, because it actually is something you just can become and be, and you don't need to have, you know, I've got to do my exercises regular kind of thing. It's something more like it becomes a natural, a natural.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dear Peter, I remembered one word you told me on that Skype about um, special astrologer from Persia and Morocco and Andromedian. Yeah, and
Who?
you told that. You told that some special in the real side, some special group of people, Andromedian. I know that.
Oh,
I don't know
Andromeda.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Andromeda.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
now we are passing through the whale sign, the Pisces, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes to the next one, which is in the 13 signs, you know, an area of Andromeda. And the people from Andromeda are very distinctly important because they're trying to present this position, which is love and orientation to the universal and to the new to the true reality, and they are seeing all the difficulties that everybody is having here. And they know that the comprehension of this, but they called it the message of an Andromeda, some people, and they channeling this. I'm just going to say that related to this is the Andromeda is in, I have a mapping system of the world, the earth, in signs, and there's 7 areas, and there are 13, let's say there's 12 signs related to the old astrology, but only in that there's a connection between them. Any case, what I'm trying to say is that the Andromeda sign of the Solaris position in the map is your area of the world where you are.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Andromeda.
You mean that Iran?
Yes, yes. Those
Why?
people.
And one of
You
my sister, to be honest, all of my sister has a great sweetheart and paying attention to true love. Especially one of my sister is born uh, and Christ time and has a sweetheart. You know,
yeah.
uh, she's here and.
Well, there is a connection with your area, but I'm also going to tell you that actually I think that I made a little mistake because Andromeda is in it's close, but you also are on where the Pisces sign, the whale, and the fishes, and that group is related to the star, which is Archnar. And the sun is conjunct Archnar today. Once a year, this is like the Archnar birth date that goes through your, that's connected with your area. I think you're in the Pisces area, which is why they call the Middle East the Holy Lands. And all through, the big swath of area, Saudi Arabia and Iran and Iraq and Israel and Egypt, is close to the borderline. The other thing, though, that's very important is that the Andromedans Andromeda was at the first position, 0 degree of Aries in the time when Christ came, or the Christ events occurred. 0 Aries. And I think that they initiated this new cycle of which we would call the Pisces age started then, because the Pisces age is at 30 degrees and it at the time of Christ, and it goes backwards, and it has been going backwards through Pisces to 0 Pisces, and this century it is at 0. It's going into Aquarius at 0 Pisces, 30 Aquarius. And this is an entirely new cycle. It's the end of the age of Pisces, and the age of Aquarius is supposed to be beginning. Oh, it's all connected with, and the Andromedans are, like I said, they initiated or are part of the initiation of the zodiac that happened, and this whole modern civilization that occurred sometime around the time of Christ. The Roman Catholics is part of that, et cetera, et cetera. It's related to the Romans and the Greco-Roman tradition. But it's just, because Andromeda is the princess. And I'm going to relate this I'm having experience with it right here with you, 2 sisters. And also, right in my yard, I have 4 cats, and there's 2 cats sitting in the yard listening to this talk the whole time. The big white cat, beautiful white cat that we have, and with blue eyes, a blonde cat with blue eyes. And this other cat is the boy, and he's the silver gray. And they're sitting here, they're kind of waiting for dinner maybe, but really they're listening. and they're right in front of my view. I could put my camera on, you might see them. I don't know. Let me try it. That's so funny. I'm going to try to see if you can see it.
I mute myself and I ask
Can you
my
see that?
sister. Yes, yes, yes. You can.
You can see the cat? Is one of them. And there's the other one. You see the white
Okay.
one? Isn't that funny? That's spectacular. Okay. Yeah, that's cool though. All right. Go ahead then. Maybe we should finish.
I want to say, ask my sister Judy to if she want say something, and I mute
Yeah.
myself.
نه فقط مریم اگر که محبت کنی اون کتابی رو که فرستادن برای منم بفرستی که هم خودم اگر هر وقت فرستم بخونمش، همین که بدم به نیکی، چون نیکی دوستم استرولوژیسته، بعد میتونه چیز کنه. بهش میگم اینو، اتفاقا میبینمش هم هفته دیگه که بهش بگم که همچین چیزی وجود
اگر
داره.
بگی که این کار انجام بده، من برای آریان فرستادم به عنوان پروژه، اگه به خاطر بکنه ترجمهش کنه، چون دقیقا زمانی که صحبت از اندرومدا شد و پیتر داشت اینجوری میگفت، من یه نقاشی فرستاده بودم که گفت شبیه اندرومدایی ها هست و گفت اندرومدایی ها اینجوری هستن که با عشقشون اومدن به زمین کمک بکنن. من یادم به مرضیه افتادم، به اصلا نمیدونم چجوری بهت بگم، یه حس قلبی منو که شد به این سمت. و الانم که داشت به شما در مورد اوریون میگفت و اینکیو این لیل، گفتم ای جان دلم که دقیقا داره چیزایی رو میگه که دوین روش داره تمرکز میکنه برای
یک کتابی هست به اسم Dear Peter, do you know Malich's deck?
Ask again.
I'm not sure if I can pronounce the name correctly. Malich's deck.
I don't.
He has written a book. The name is 12 Stars, and it talks about the Enlil, the gods that came to the earth, the way that war happened, and the real moon destroyed and becomes the dust around the Mars, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know. I don't know that the book is called what? The 12 Stars?
It's translated in the name 12 Stars. But the writer name is really strange. I cannot pronounce it.
Is it Manjusri?
Would you put No.
No. Okay.
Let me check.
Yeah. You can send me the email or through Mariam, and you can send those along, and I'll in reverse I will send, and then you can send me your email too, and then we can share these things that we're doing here, back and forth, and maybe you can translate them as well if you wish. Would be good. Translate into Farsi.
Melchizedek.
Yes, I know the books. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Melchizedek.
Yeah. Melchizedek.
I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
And they're discovering and relating that entire uncovering of the history.
The Sumerian history, and who was the NUA, or where the gods and messengers came from.
Yes.
And they were there were no god in fact, just they were what I call it, some maybe
Well,
human shape people from other stars that came to the world, and because they were more powerful than human being, they worship them and start worshiping them.
right. And
Yeah.
he also talks about what they call the Merkabah, which is like your connection. I think it's the connection at the fourth dimension, to your body, your inner body, that relates to the emotional body. And this is the body that is tapped and controlled by these beings. And
Yeah.
and so forth and so on. It's all related to that, and it's interesting because then you can learn to remove these lines of force and tap
Yeah.
energy and so forth. And it's a very great thing to do because no longer will be inhibited by these things anymore.
And even Eric von Däniken and what he
Yeah,
and I saw a documentary
right.
he has made. Yeah, and it was so amazing.
Yeah. So I put that together, and I saw all these things, and through the years and so forth, seeing all the different writings and different perspectives, I think, and then now I'm not trying to incorporate those things into the new you, but rather actually more of an going beyond the identifications. And we're just trying to really make it aware in a universal sense, and also in for that solar body that that we've become aware of. That I have a sense of in my solar body of what I call there's 7 elements. That I think relates to, with the new UU, but also, it's not coming to me because it's in the book there. So in the Solaris book. So, that's something that I think is good to be aware of, because it's actually a way of being aware of your whole self, but also your different bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a way of like fine tuning it or making it very simple. You have a body of light, you have the golden mean, which is the golden thread, the golden rays, and there's the golden heart, and there's your third eye, your eye of awareness, and your ear of listening, I call it. Your third ear, so to speak, like that. And these are real, and we are using them, and these are just, I guess, identifiers. But it's a pretty good exercise because it really, it's really well, I haven't been able to share it with hardly anyone, tell you the honest truth, but there it is. It's something that's I practice, or I've been doing with that, a so-called exercise, but I really don't think it's an exercise. I think the proper word is exegesis, which is going beyond the exercise kind of meditation, contemplation thing, like that. And so, whatever, it's sounding pretty great, which it is, but I'm really not, thinking that that's really a specific answer. You've got to meditate every day and you'll become enlightened, kind of an idea. It's not. And because you don't need that, because you're already there, we could say we're already there. Now we want to be it and live it and
Feel
become
that.
it. Right.
Yeah. We need to have the access to that potential.
Yeah, it's true. Have you recorded today, Mariam?
مریم ضبط کردی؟
Yes, sure. I'm
Oh, that's
recording.
fantastic.
I'm a
I
reporter.
hope it comes out, and I think that this would be really great, you know, as a representation of this whole thing. If
Okay,
you don't,
thank you very much
yeah.
for sharing.
Oh yeah, you guys too.
I think something is opening up for me.
Yeah.
And some of the behavior that I had before.
Yes.
And, the connections between
Well,
the puzzles that I had in my mind about the astrology, about
yes.
the and even
you're going to be in a really big. I mean, with the Mars and Gemini, you're really going to be, you know, really going for it. You know, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa. You
really,
know,
I hope
exciting.
so. I hope to be like that, but I think I have lost my way.
Maybe not.
I
Duane,
don't know.
come here and Duane, come here and write. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. You're just a wave, actually. You come and go. You know, you kind of come in, go boom, and you know, goes up, then it goes down again. You know, and like that. It's more like it. It's kind of just being on a wave that keeps going, changing a little bit, and you know, hitting the shore, and then you know, like you know, it's like that. It's like wave. That's what the Archnar and the Pisces, and Duane is a Pisces, so. Not that he, you know, cares about any of that, but the point being that he's expressing that, you know, being in and how we're already in it, but it seems like sometimes we don't, and sometimes we get kicked around and moved around somewhere, or we let ourselves, you know, and then come back through, or the wave comes back again, you know, like, well, you know, it's like trying to describe the ocean.
Sometimes
I think
I like to have some place to some stable place to just have
You
some
is
rest
wonderful.
in my mind, because the thing I know is I am learning every day, and I'm connecting the things I learned together. Maybe I'm knitting something, but I'm not sure what I'm knitting.
Right. So, yeah, and I guess, you know, Mariam, you share the things that you think, the books and whatever that, you know, would be, you know, you guys know, you know what to do. You know what to do. So I thank you for listening to me. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I shared your book to Judy, and now I recorded singing New You in the galaxy way. In the galaxy way.
In the galaxy system, in the universal system.
I start. New you. And you? Peter?
Yes, I did.
So it's my turn.
And
New, you.
Oh, beautiful.
Always,
Thank you all.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.